Hi. So back again. Oh my gosh, cat hair. Back again. So this time it's gonna be me talking about Training Day. So, if you don't know, it's pretty iconic. If you haven't seen it, where have you been? And it's on. I refuse to call it Max because just like Twitter changing to X, it makes no sense. It's on HBO Max, you know. So if you have that membership, you should go and watch it. But HBO Max has been acting funny. So like every time I try and watch something over again, it like won't let me. So I don't really understand what's going on. So but yeah. So anyways, this ow. So this movie Training Day, it has Denzel Washington in it. You know, if you didn't know. Ethan Hawke, Dr. Dre is in it. So I mean, do with that what you will. And I don't think there's anybody else memorable in it. So either this has, is it a hole? Oh boy. Okay. So yeah, it starts. Jake is a new officer. He is working in narcotics. So he goes to meet Alonzo at the office, which isn't like a building, it's his car. So but Jake won't let him, like a kid, he won't let him like just enjoy his breakfast. He has to keep talking, which like Jake, let somebody enjoy their food. So Alonzo's like, since you don't want to let me enjoy my breakfast quietly, you gotta tell me a story. And like the way he like talks to him is like, yeah, like I'm tired of your mess. Or like somebody that like, I don't know, isn't like the kindest person in a way. So Jake comes up with this story, which turns out to be true, about his one of his days as a traffic stop cop while he was training, which is honestly a really boring story, kind of about how they stopped somebody from killing their previous partner in like a drug thing or something. And Alonzo was not impressed, as I wouldn't be either, because you interrupted me. I would be annoyed too. I would tell you, tell me a story, because you just are interrupting my breakfast, and that's like the quickest way to like get on my bad side, is to keep interrupting when I'm trying to eat. So I almost like, I'm like, same. So yeah, after they leave the diner where Alonzo was trying to eat breakfast, Alonzo just walks out into traffic and it's like, fam, I'm about to not use this one because you can't see how dirty that is, and I refuse to acknowledge how dirty it is. Actually, I'm just gonna switch to this. So yeah, so they walk out into traffic. Jake's like, what in the world? This guy is crazy. So they end up going to, hold up. So they go to Alonzo's office, and Alonzo tells Jake at some point to, you know, bask in the air, you know. I had another brush, and literally, I have no idea what I did with it. But this one looks better. Does anyone wash their brushes before they use them? Because I guess I should probably do that. Anyways, Alonzo tells Jake to, like, you know, basically take in the air. You don't know your surroundings like that. Oh my God, wasn't that one? You don't know your surroundings like that. You need to take them in, breathe it in. You ask him about his home life, if he's married, if he knows some Spanish, you know. Jake's like, you know, a little. Which, if you live in California, you should know more than a little. Like, you know, but at some point, after the little drive through, Alonzo takes Jake to one of his informants, like, area. And he, like, watches the informant give some college kids some drugs of some sort. And so he does that. And then, you know, he's talking to Jake. And then they run up on the college kids after they leave the informant. And Jake asks him, do you trust them? He's like, yeah, I do. Which is like, if you work with Alonzo, you aren't clean. You're dirty. You're not, like, clean. Even if you're just a kid, you are dirty. So they go and follow the college kids, and because Alonzo doesn't have, like, police lights, he, like, runs up on the kids, cuts them off. Is very, very, like, I guess the best word to use is combative to the kids. Jake's, like, very sympathetic. You know, they are, like, college kids, so, like, they're very sympathetic, need to be babied. But if they were Black, would Jake have been acting the same way? Who knows? But they keep driving through the office, and at some point, they run up on an important person who knows someone that Alonzo knows at a certain point. So, and it's a friend of Alonzo's, I guess. His niece is ditching school. Don't do that. She's in an alleyway, which, again, if she wouldn't ditch in school, she wouldn't have been in the alleyway. So she was ditching school, and she gets mugged by these two drug people, and they take her wallet, and Jake runs up trying to do the right thing, trying to be, you know, a little savior or whatnot. And Alonzo's like, Jake tries to do the right thing because, you know, he has to do the right thing. And then once Alonzo goes to visit his honey, as he calls it, I know I'm skipping a lot. Actually, before then, he actually goes to visit, we're just gonna call it his mentor. He goes to visit his mentor. And I believe, like, this guy for sure, like, is the reason why, well, part of the reason why Alonzo is so corrupted at this point in his life. Like, he's not, like, a good person. He's like, can you see it? Like, I can see it, like, right here, but, like, can you see it? And this is what happens when you get mats from Morphe and you are this. Like, what is this white shade supposed to do? What is this supposed to do? Where am I going to put this? Yeah. So he goes to meet, actually, he goes to meet Smiley? No. Actually, at a certain point, he goes to trick Snoop Dogg's character. Oh yeah, that's a notable person. He goes to trick Snoop Dogg's character and giving him some details on hold on, on a specific thing, and then on the Sandman, and he's like, yeah, I don't know, man, I don't know. And then he tells him the Sandman after Alonzo basically assaults him with a pen, and Jake is mortified at that. He was clutching his invisible pearls at the fact that this, what he thought was an outstanding cop, was assaulting an innocent man. But it's like the way Jake was acting, it's like he was acting like this was his very first time being a cop. Like, even if you're a traffic cop, I'm sure you have run into people that are wild, a little bit cuckoo. And the way he was acting like he was like only a police officer at a daycare or something. Ugh, I can't get this mascara right. It's literally starting to suck. Like, you can't even tell I'm wearing it. Yeah, this was like my fave, but then it's like, it's starting to act up. This one, but oh well. So yeah, after many infractions, like Jake sees that, you know, he goes to hang out with his what Jake thought was his friend, who Jake thought was his friend, which is wild because it turns out he says he's not his friend. Like, after he ends up shooting him, the Sandman, which is crazy because it's like, you went to go hang out with this man during work. Do you not have anything to do during work? Like, work? And then, like, when Jake tries to stop the drug addicts from assaulting the girl that they saw in the alleyway getting beat up, and Alonzo's like, well, street justice. And Jake's like, is that even the right justice? And Alonzo's like, it's whatever. I'm not looking to arrest today. He doesn't tell Jake this. I'm not looking to arrest today. I'm trying to get this money together. Like, oh, and I also forgot to mention that, like, I should have mentioned this in the beginning, but above it, Jake is loyal to his family. He's an angel at his work, and he's loyal to his family. But Alonzo is not loyal to his family. That's why he has a girlfriend on the side that no one knows about, and a son on the side that no one knows about. He's not loyal to anything except for, I guess, maybe technically his job. I guess, because, yeah, he's technically loyal to his job. But it's like, is he though? Because he went about it in, like, after a while, he went about it in the most corrupt way. So, oh, and eventually, the day has been rough for Jake. Like, if I was Jake, I would have been like, I should just go to be a teacher. I shouldn't have tried to be like a cop. Like, what's the reward? I get drugged. I get pressured into taking drugs so I can feel the experience and know what it's like. It's like, I became a cop to prevent, like, a whole lot of drug activity, not to participate in it. It's like, I feel you. I understand. And then oh my gosh, if you can hear that, totally apologies. My machines are really loud. But yeah, so yeah, after Jake goes on all these errands with Alonzo, eventually, I'm gonna say it's like 10 o'clock at night, they go to his homie's house. I was gonna say essay, but I didn't want to say essay, but I still said it anyways. He goes to his homie's house, the guy that's racially ambiguous, two of the guys that are racially ambiguous. They play those races, but they aren't They're like something completely different. But kudos to them for getting those jobs. But like they go to that house, and Alonzo was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. You know, I'll be back. And then he goes to the bathroom. A little bit longer than expected because Jake starts looking back like, when is this man coming back? It's probably been like 20 minutes at that point, maybe 30. Jake's like, where is this man at? So then the guys at the table start, you know, talking or whatever, like, Alonzo set you up. And he's like, what are you talking about? It's like, Alonzo set you up. He got into it with some Russians, killed one in Vegas. Because Russians equal bad guys in movies. We know this. I need for them to do better. Okay? Because they're actually really cool people. Anyways, they're like, Alonzo set you up. Jake's like, what? And then Jake snaps, oddly snaps. I don't know what that was supposed to be. And then he takes the gun and then he like tries to shoot them. And then he flips the table, takes the gun, and then they get him. They like attack him. And Jake is like, you know, going off, whatever. And then they put him in a chokehold to beat him up. And then they find that he still has, this is that girl I was talking about. This is her uncle. He has his niece's wallet in his pocket. And he's like, how did you get this? He's like, what? What are you talking about? I got it because I saved a girl in an alley. He's like, what? And he calls his niece to clarify. She's like, yeah, I ditched school. He's like, we're going to talk about this later. So then after putting a gun in Jake's face and beating him up, he's like, stop, I got a daughter, I got a wife. Which, okay. So then he does that, and he like takes him out the tub because he's like, okay, you saved my niece. And then he gives him the down low about Alonzo, and they let him go. And then he eventually makes his way back to Alonzo's girlfriend's house. And then he says hey to Alonzo's kid, who was Alonzo Jr. I don't know why you would name him after a dude that barely comes by, but here we are. Couldn't be me. I hate how you can see the reflection off of my face. But anyways, and then him and Alonzo get into it. Alonzo's girlfriend is like, there's a shootout in her apartment. You really should have picked a better man. Preferably one that isn't married. Hello. Anyways, that's just me. So, him and Jake have a little shootout after he goes in Alonzo's girlfriend. I forgot her name, but Alonzo's girlfriend's bedroom. And then because Alonzo like leaves out of the room, and him and Jake have a little shootout. And then, they tussle. Alonzo runs. And then they're in that neighborhood where they like clap whenever Alonzo comes through with the birds, Terry Crews' character. So they like leave, and then for some reason everyone is outside at this time. They are all day. Is no one doing anything else? So then they go, him and Jake talk, and this is where the iconic lines are. You think you can do this to me, Jake? The classic ones. Please don't run that back. And at this part, Alonzo he's basically freaking out. I guess because he thinks Jake is just like him at a certain point, and that he's gonna put the metal to the head and just. But he doesn't. He's probably just trying to take him in. But Alonzo's more concerned, like he's trying to play it off, acting all cool, calm, and collected. But this man is worried that he's gonna get capped trying to get this money to the Russians. I think it's $1 million. They always pick $1 million. He's trying to get $1 million to the Russians, which I think even if he had given them the money, they still would have killed him. Bad guys, they'll be like, okay, you gave us what we wanted, we'll let you go. Like, I feel like they probably were still gonna get him regardless. So, yeah. And then, him and Jake, have it out. And then Jake takes the bag. What he does with it, what does he do with it? Because the movie did end weirdly. So, like, what does he do with it? Because, we don't know of anything. Did he take it to the police station? Did he hide it in his backyard and just save it for a rainy day for his family later on? What did Jake do with the money? Because if he did something with it, other than those, like, the second one's kind of not great. Other than those two things, he is just as bad as Alonzo. So Alonzo ends up getting, like, cornered in by the guys in the neighborhood. Where they clap when he comes through, and one guy said, "I can't stand that man." Yeah. And then Jake ends up getting away and goes straight home. This is where the writing is a little bit iffy. Because why would you not just, like, have him drop it off at his girlfriend's house or something? Because, okay, anyways, so Alonzo gets cornered. And, like, you can see the worry and the panic on Alonzo's face. It's very much clear. And, so Alonzo, he panics, and then he eventually gets away. He meets up with the Russians, and it turns out that he gets capped. There's a van, a lady's in it, but no woman with a van is gonna be out that late. You know what I'm saying? So he ends up getting capped. And that's the story. It ends with Jake at home, getting out of his car. Again, what did he do with the money? The world may never know. I could look it up. It's probably on some, like, urban legend thing where it turns out Jake actually returned it to the police station. He had to, because, like, it had to be 11:50 at this point. You gotta show up to a money drop off early. You can't be late, because then they'll cap you on the way there. Anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this. I am going to cut that out. Hope you enjoyed this. And thank you for watching.